Welcome everyone back to my channel. Excuse me. Happy Saturday. Hope you are having a good day. Welcome to the next installment of our book club live discussion. Today we are going to be discussing Pod by Laline Paull, which is a climate fiction, or at least could we say climate? We could say climate fiction. It is a fiction book focused on dolphins mostly, but like sea life in general, with our main character being a dolphin. But we have multiple points of view of different types of animals. And yeah, this book was, as you can see, shortlisted for Women's Prize for Fiction last year, 2023. So it is very, you know, well acclaimed book, whatever it's called. But yeah, it says family survival sacrifice. So yeah, that was something. Hello, Larissa. Welcome. How are you doing? I mean, we've seen each other just a few hours ago, but hi. I'm glad you're here and glad you managed to finish your book. Hello, Natalie. You as well. I saw your message on Discord that you finished your book. Or finish this book. So good job. Hello, Alex. Welcome, welcome. Um, yeah, we are going to, as usual, start a little light, just a little light discussion. And then maybe in 5-10 minutes, we'll jump into spoilers. And then I will put down a ticker that will say spoilers. So if anybody else jumps in, so they know immediately that we are going to be talking about spoilers for the book, so they can either leave or, yeah, or stay, but it's their decision. I don't know what you rated this one. No, I don't know either. It is such a strange book. Um, I don't know. I It was very strange book. I also used my pretty, I think, perfect fit bookmark for this, even though it is for Aurelium as well, the book. So usually for Aurelium, I use the bookmarks for the subject it's for, but this time I decided to use this. But it's not too much off because I did use it for animal studies, so it's almost perfect. It's perfect. So it all worked out. Hello, popping in to see if I should read or skip this book. That's totally fair. Hello, I'm late. No, you're not. You're just on time, Jess. I'm so happy you made it. I'm so happy you made it because I know we talked about it. Like initially you didn't vote for this date, but I was really worried that you wouldn't make it. So I am very happy that you did make it and that you're here. Hopefully you can stay the entire chat. If not, don't worry. But I'm very happy to see you here. We barely started, so you're good. Yes, exactly. I'm curious what you all thought. Yes, me too. It was a book. It was a book. I love that bookmark. Thank you. Yeah, I love it too. I totally forgot I had it until I read the history of bees last month because it was stuck in there. Oh, good. Wouldn't want to miss a discussion of abusive dolphin sex. Yep, that's part of what it was. Yes. Yes, strange and weird and very gross at times, but also fascinating. I think I'll go for 3.5, but maybe the chat will change this. Yes. Um, I feel very similar, honestly. Yeah, I have lots of work today, but need to hear everyone's opinions. Are you here to be salty? We welcome it, but just so we know. Um, but yes, I would agree with what Natalie said. It was very strange, and um, for quite a big chunk of the book, I was kind of bored. Like I didn't know where we were heading or what the point was. Um, but I think the last two chapters completely changed the book for me. The last two chapters, at least for me, were really good, and it just whoop skyrocketed the book for me. I don't know why. I think it wasn't like amazing, but for some reason it just worked great for me. And so yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. I like this. I didn't love the book. It is not gonna be 4 stars or higher, for sure not, because most of the book I was just like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, I'm reading it, it's okay, but like nothing. It didn't do anything for me. The ending was great, but after I closed the book, I felt like, yeah, I want to read Bees by this author. I want to see that. I want to experience that as well. Like, if it's the same from the point of view of Bees, I want to read it. So yeah, that's what I thought. I might be salty. I thought the ending was beautiful though. Yes, I'm glad I'm not alone. What's up? Hello, welcome. Yes, agree. The ending made the book. Yeah, I think so. I felt for AI in the end. Yes, 100%. I went back to read the prologue about halfway through because I forgot where we were heading. Ah, was it explained? Some details were unneeded, definitely. Um, like what? Or should we head into the spoiler part now and then you can explain, Alex, what exactly you mean? Okay, so if I'm in the mood for a weird dolphin book, I should read it. Yeah, yeah, kind of. It is. I don't think it was that strange. I think this, for me personally, the strangest part was about, or like the strangest part was how hum humanoid. Well, they were very much made into humans, even though that was very much in the beginning. And then as I kept reading, I think it became easier to not imagine people and imagine the actual dolphins or whatever they were. So I think that got easier throughout the book, but that might have been my biggest struggle to think about these animals as animals rather than people. And from the beginning, I also struggled a little bit with some things, felt very much like this is what humans would do or humans would say. And I felt like, are we just basically talking about some real life issue like for people and putting it in animal world? But I think that also disappeared throughout the book and I did not feel like that anymore. Towards the end, I definitely felt like it was 100% about the animals. It was not like a metaphor for some human problem. It was exactly what it said it was, I think. So it was a little difficult for me from the start, the first few chapters, but I think after that I really got into it and it wasn't that weird anymore. There is a lot of sex, yes, it is. Um and I don't know, it's not like described in detail or anything. But there is a lot of forced sex, also not described in super detail, but could be uncomfortable. So that could be like the most kind of thing. But again, it didn't bother me. It was really strange to read about dolphins in that way, but in a way, that's how animals are. So it didn't bother me, actually. Um, I don't know if that makes sense. Mm, Harvey is less sexually active than apparently every sea creature. You know, I don't know how to like read into it because yes, it was very like a lot was focused on like sex and reproduction, but I think that is kind of the point that that's what animals do. They survive and they procreate. So could yeah, I'm going into spoilers without going into spoilers. So I don't know. I feel like that's just how animals are, so it kind of made sense to me that it was so overly sexual, or it was a lot of the talk was about sex and procreation, and it was unexpected, but I understand it, if that makes sense. I don't know, I was thinking the same. Yeah, not my kind of weird at all. No, that's okay. Weird how the dolphins refer to each other as people. Yeah, that was a little strange. Yes, people felt weird. but in a way also makes sense. But that did irk me when that was there. Like people were sleeping by the surface of the water, like boat people. So yeah, that did bother me a little bit. That threw me off big time. They were very humanized, but there were parts that were very animalized, if you know what I mean. Very difficult to explain in English for me. Yeah, definitely. I like the reveals, figuring out what all the words meant, like demons and the mold. What was the mold? Or should we go into spoilers? Let's go into spoilers. I think we are ready. The demons, I think that was clear from the start. I was surprised they didn't understand it earlier. Um, like they went, like people fed them. How did they not recognize the sound? I don't understand that part. But what was the mold? Okay, then maybe not for me, even when I'm reading historical romance at the moment. But those are cute Regency vibes. Yeah, maybe it'll be a great mix, but yeah, maybe not for you. I don't think it's a book for everyone. So I understand why people hate it, but for me, there was nothing particularly wrong with it. It just took a little bit to get used to, and I found it very fascinating for the most part. If I kind of removed the expectation of plot out of it and just take it for what it is. So I think if I went to read another book by this author, I would not expect a plot exactly, and just enjoy it for what it was. Like here, I was expecting plot for a long time, but yeah. Larissa, yes, I definitely know what you mean, and yeah. At the same time, I thought, yes, that's what animals do: survive and reproduce. Exactly what you said. Yeah, exactly. That's what they do. Even dolphins, like even dolphins who are super intelligent, they still, like, their primary purpose in life, let's say, would be to survive and reproduce. Um, and the upcoming Sexy Times Moon, whatever it was called. Yes, Sexy Times Moon. That was funny. I thought demons were submarines and the god whatever were regular ships. Ah, could be. So that's why demons were okay. Demons were submarines, and the god were regular ships. So that was the difference. I did not get that was submarines. Even though then at the end, spoilers, people. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you gotta leave now. I'll give you a few seconds. Um, so at the end, when the ships came with the nets and everything, and those were regular ships, and they still said that they finally know what the demons are. So I did not grasp that the demons were submarines. That's a little confusing. What did I miss? I tried googling the mold. I thought it was an English word. I didn't know, but I didn't get answers. Okay. The mold is garbage, right? Human trash could be. Yes, that will make sense. Yeah, I guess that too in the end. Yeah. I mean, I read smut and never read the word sperm this often ever. Yeah, see, that's why, like, exactly. So to me, it felt more educational than like a dolphin sex story. um, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. I was thinking subs because it was constant noise. Nose. And they will probably need with their sonar more than regular ships. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that would make sense. Like what was the constant? I just thought it was like the tankers and those things that were like really far out and super loud compared to the smaller ships. Um and also because they are so far out from the archipelago. But yeah, I never thought of submarines, but maybe. Also just everything was so sexual, like the water would pulse or throb and you. Okay. See, I do not pulse. I do not like associate with sexual thing. Throb could have a throbbing headache, and I don't associate it whatsoever to be sexual. So, throbbing as on its own. So I'm innocent in that way. I'm prude. Maybe that's why this one was okay for me. Some parts I read in David Attenborough voice. Yeah, that definitely. She actually does. I don't know if you read it, but yeah, that's who she thanks in the end. And for a lifetime of inspiration and his rallying call to action. Thank you, Sir David Attenborough. He's there. He's there. Mess with their sonar, I meant. Can you tell I'm on my phone? Yeah, what's his name? Tristan is acting out again. I was wondering throughout the whole book what behaviors were actually researched and based on facts and what was made up by the author. I would imagine most of the behaviors were researched. Also, in the end, here in the acknowledgments, it does say like bottlenose dolphins are an intensely studied species with an abundance of exam, blah blah blah, and then she goes into like some links and people and who she talked to about each of the species. Spinner dolphins in a remote Hawaiian atoll, social grouping and population structure by Leszek Karczmarski, Bernd Bursik. So she can, and then behavioral ecology, volume 16. So she did her research. So I would imagine most of the behaviors were researched. Um, but that's what I would think. Blackfish, yes. Seaspiracy, I haven't seen that. My Octopus Teacher, The Cove, Blue Planet. Yeah, all inspiration. I felt a cold element, but I might be wrong. Yes, the oh, it was repeated so many times, and I still don't know the name. Tursiops. Tursiops definitely felt cultish. Um, the first wife, the way she was talking, that I was also thinking like this sounds like a cult for sure. I agree. I like that the author thanked him at the end and cited lots. Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, yes, Alex. When they were talking about the god above, uh definitely felt cult like. Yes, it did. Yes, Tristan. Rude. Yes, Natalia, like tell me exactly what creative liberties were taken. Are dolphins going around beating the shit out of each other and forming harems? My thought would be yes, they do. Yes, they do. Have you seen this video where the giraffes are hitting each other, like where they are fighting and they are hitting each other in the neck? Like they do fight, animals fight. Like these peaceful dolphins that we all imagine, it's not like that all the time. Like that's just the surface. And then underneath, of course, they are territorial and trying to survive, and of course, they fight. At least that's what I would think. Yes, I believe that there is a lot of facts, but it's still fiction. So there is a line somewhere, and I kept thinking about where it is. Totally fair. Totally fair. I yeah. I was not bothered by that at all. I took most of it as that's probably inspired by like how they really behave, but I'm not taking any of it as true. So yeah, we don't know where the line is, but personally, it doesn't bother me that I don't know. But yeah, that will be definitely interesting to see. So maybe it would be actually worth to research the resources in the end that she lists and read about it. Terciops, yes, Terciops. Yeah, I learned that dolphins are assholes. Yeah, everybody is. Come on, every animal is. I do believe the harem and fighting part is real. Yes, I agree. I believe that too. No, I wasn't bothered by that either. Was just interested. Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Yeah. So that's that for now. Um, is there something else we would like to pick out? Like, which point of view was your favorite? Let's see. We've got multiple points of views. Which one was your favorite? And why? And why did you like the ending? Because it seemed like all of you said that you loved the ending. So, what was so great about it? Let's start with that, and then maybe we can go through the categories in the compile. Um, I like Google, even though his story was absolutely heartbreaking. Yes. I think I liked Google the best too. Aya was great. I mean, she was obviously the main character, but and she was cool, even though I felt like I did not fully understand how was she deaf and yet was able to understand all the clicks and all the communication when she was deaf. Like I know she has the sonar in the brain, like it's a bit different, but like I did not understand that part completely. But yeah, I also liked Google the best. Yes. Oh, that was very sad. Poor Google. And also, I found it shocking. I did not know that military trains dolphins to help in war or in conflicts. I had no idea, and it's so messed up. Like, for example, the Fugu finding a new home. Now I want to know if that happened or would be possible more in small things like this. Yeah, definitely. Like, I see what you mean. Like these small things, or if the mating ceremony that what was his name? I don't know. The fish, the dolphin-like fish, the colorful fish, um, friend of Fugu. If yeah, Brasse, Brasse, Rice, the Brass. If the mating ceremony for the moon that he described, if that's how it actually happens, because that sounds like really something, and not something I would like to see, like you, but yeah, that sounded like fascinating thing to have for the animals. And I totally hated the Remora. I couldn't stand her. Like especially from the start. Then sure she was smart and she knew things, but oh, so disgusting. The Raz was a little weirdo too, with those clams. Kind of enjoyed it for the gender stuff, but yikes with the sex. Yes. Yeah. I didn't know that either. No. So I watched a show when I was little, probably no one has heard of, called Sequest. And they had a dolphin who had a way of speaking, and he went on missions for them sometimes, but he was trained. Yeah. So messed up. Yes, does the full moon play a role in the mating, spawning? Things like this grab my interest. Um, maybe, yeah. Spawning. That's a nice word for it. Yeah, I don't know if it's just because of the cycle they have, like we do, basically also kind of like a every full moon, or if it's just really like full moon related. That will be interesting. And it was a voluntary. Loved that show. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yes. Oh my god, the Remora was horrible. Yes. They rated the dolphin like another crew member, and he was a lovely character named Darwin. Oh, that sounds cute. But yeah, my favorite character was Google, I think, or at least I liked to follow his path the most because it felt most connected to us, I guess. Um, like I could best understand what he was going through and what the issues were. I loved the part where he was so lost and he he was following the sound of the base of the ship, and he found the whale and he attacked the whale. Poor guy, so cute. That was really sad. And then the ending, I don't even have to say. That was, yeah, felt so real. Like for some reason, I really don't like these Insta love things, but it just worked in here for some reason. I loved it. My friend who has a lot of chronic health issues has flare ups and feels worse every full moon. So I believe it affects flus too. Maybe, yeah, it could. Oh, the whale too. He was so interesting. Yeah. So, like, what happened to his family? Were they like killed by a ship, or was it the submarine that ran them? Like, they just went through them. Like, how did they die? Or I imagine it was like some huge ship with the huge propellers. Um, for me, it's a tie between Google and Aya. Yes. Everything with the whale changing his song was just so fascinating. Yeah. That was like, that was kind of, it felt like the entire underlying plot was this whale with his song. Like he's kind of what started everything and what wrapped up everything as well. So that was very nice touch. Sea floofs, so cute. In the end, Chid also grew on me. He showed so much growth, and yes, the whale, yeah, Chid as well. I in the beginning, like, or beginning when we first met him, he was like so spoiled, but yeah, then he stepped up. He stepped up when he needed to. Google gave me the feeling he was always searching. Yes, yeah, he was. He was. Yeah, that was such a heartbreaking story though, because he was searching for the base, um, going back to his human, just to realize that his human knew all along. Like when he attached him with the harness, the human knew when he was attaching it that he would die from it. And like the realization, it was so heartbreaking that his human betrayed him. Yeah, I don't know, like talking about it, it kind of makes me wanna tear up. That was such a sad storyline. I loved when the whale sort of opened Google's brain up to the ocean. Made me think Aya wasn't deaf to the ocean, just that she heard things differently. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. See, this is such a fascinating book to talk about. Like just for this, I would pump it up half a star. Um, yeah, definitely. I did shed tears for Google twice. I did not actually cry during the book, but yeah, I definitely felt for him. Poor guy. Also, what a stupid name, but whatever. Because AI seemed to open up to things more at the end. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but why did Remora say that Aya killed her mother? That didn't make sense to me. Like, what was it to Remora? If not for all the sex and mating and grape, it would have been a fascinating book. Yeah, I understand the issue with that. I did not have issue with it at all. Like it, yeah, I did not. Um, I think it only portrayed the animalistic side of it a lot better because the Remora was an asshole. Yeah, she was. What is flying here? Did you guys see that? I can't see it. I just saw it in the camera. Yeah, she was an asshole. But yeah, should we go into the categories and talk about the categories and what we rate those? Are we ready for that, or is there something else we want to discuss first? Or maybe it will come up as we discuss the categories. Was that the parasite? Oh, already forgot. Yeah, that was the parasite. Um, the Remora didn't like the word, but that's what she was. But apparently, she was helping Chit a lot. So, in that, when she was on Chit and also on Aya, she wasn't really a parasite because she did help them, both of them. So maybe she was truly the, what was it, the converse something, commerals. I don't know what it was called, but she, yeah, she wanted to be that instead. It was in the Remora commensals. Commensals. She turned out to be commensals, maybe. She even said she was teaching him things, right? Maybe she helped open up his mind. Yes, exactly. Yeah. He didn't want to let her go for a long time, because she was teaching him so much. So, yeah, she kind of saved Chit, really. And that also I thought was really sweet, that how Chid was portrayed as such a spoiled little baby who is completely, you know, incapable of anything. And then Remora chose him after Aya, like everybody else tasted awful, but Chid approved. So it was kind of sweet, and like where that all came through, I guess, because no one would help him learn and grow off. They were calling him so much in the first harem. Yes, definitely. Didn't help. It never helps to cuddle. There was something flying again. Where is it? What is it? I have window open, so it could be something from outside flying in. Oh well. Um, so yeah, are we ready for the categories? I think we might be. Um, what's with the hair? That's okay. Um, First category we have characters. So, what did you think of the characters? Were they memorable? Were the secondary characters distinguishable, important, additive to the story? Did you care about what happens to them? Were they flat or one dimensional? Do you have a good idea of their personality? Would it be easy to describe them to a friend? Apart from being a dolphin or uh, a wrasse or a whale? Sure. A nice literal full circle moment. Yes, definitely. Yes. I would give it a 7. Okay. Yep. Characters also, I think, could be 7. The characters all sucked at first, but they grew on me. I don't mind books where the characters are unlikable, though. Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I think it was a little difficult from the start, but definitely got better. And I loved Google. I really cared for Aya. I cared for Res. And Fugu was so funny. I loved the Rourke. What was his name? The whale. He was so sweet. That's in the last chapter, isn't he? Rorcal. Rorcal. Yeah, I really like them. And also the first wife grew on me. She was so like mean in the beginning, but she also grew on me. In the first half, I thought there were too many that made the story hard to follow for me, but in the second half, it worked better. Yes, I agree. I agree. So I think characters for me, I'm gonna say 7.5 actually. I really enjoyed it. Um, I like the characters. I did care for them. Um, I never felt like, oh, we've got this character now. I don't want to read about this character. I always like they were all kind of equally interesting to me, which is a good sign. I liked how Aya and Google understood each other too, like how Aya was always drawn to the sad whale song. Yes, the sad whale song. But yes, definitely, it was very good. I would say. I think. So yeah, I would give it 7.5. If we go into the next category, we've got atmosphere. How immersive was the read? Were you able to picture the setting, the characters, creatures? Was the energy in the scenes palpable, or was it not very convincing? For this, I feel like there were definitely things that could have been improved, like describing maybe a little bit more um, the lagoons, for example. Sorry, I don't know what happened with my voice there. That I missed a little bit. Like I couldn't clearly imagine how that worked when they lived in the lagoon, and the whole like sea floor or the edge or these kind of things. Like it wasn't that easy to imagine, or like I did not understand fully what was happening with each of these terms and locations, as well as oh, there it is. I think it's the big mosquito thing. Um, or when, what did I want to say? I wanted to say something. A stupid mosquito interrupted me. Um, yeah, when there was the discussions of like when they went above water, when they saw the moon, and I was kind of like, how can you see the moon through the water? So, or like from inside the water. Sorry, I'm so distracted. I just see it flying. I just see a movement, but then I don't see anything. It's really freaking me out. Um, so the atmosphere was not that great. I think favorite part when it comes to atmosphere was the last attack, or when the fisherman came on the boats and try to corner them into the lagoon. I think that was the most atmospheric that there's been for me. Otherwise, I did struggle with atmosphere, I would say. I thought of Nemo when they mentioned the drop off. Ah, yeah. I haven't seen that in so long, so that wouldn't have helped. But yeah, I would give it a 5. Yes, for atmosphere. Yeah, I would agree. Something like that. 5, maybe. Yeah, I think 5 sounds good based on what I just described. Um, the next category we have is writing. Did you enjoy the writing style? Was the prose to your liking? Was it hard to follow? Um, how was the dialogue to narration ratio? Did it flow very easily and felt beautiful but effortless at the same time? Would you be keen on picking up another book from this author, even if it's a different genre? Yeah, so for this, I wouldn't call the writing beautiful. I would not say I loved the writing style. It was easy to read, but it did have long stretches of no conversations at all. It was just like long descriptions of nothing that felt like it didn't add anything to the story. And yeah, eh, just sit somewhere, stop moving. Um, so yeah, the writing wasn't that great, but I would definitely read something else by the author, thinking specifically bees. So if we count emotions and vibes in the atmosphere, I'd rate it higher. That was very present. Yeah, actually, the emotions. Yeah, for me that would be writing. I think. How I don't know. It's sometimes so tricky to differentiate between the two. Nope, nope. Too much about spirals and sperm. Nope. Lots of dolphin drugs too. Nope. Yeah. It felt dry to me. A little bit. I would agree. Yeah. I found the language quite difficult to read, but that's just because it's not my first language, I think. I stumbled over a lot of words. That is true. That's true. But I feel as well that I wouldn't rate it based on that because it's not my first language. So I don't feel comfortable rating that. I did not understand a few words here and there, or many words here and there. So I think writing, I would actually. I'm thinking about the atmosphere. Yeah, it didn't just come through in so many scenes. It really came through in the end, in the last scene for me, or the tragic scene. That's where I would really put atmosphere up. That's why I give it 5, because otherwise it would probably be a lot lower for me. And writing, as I would definitely read another book by the author. And after I finished it, I felt very like fascinated and felt like that was such a great dive into the life of dolphins and other sea creatures. So writing, I would give like 7 actually, I think. Um, lol, but can we take a moment to appreciate the irony of a book set in the ocean being dry? But wait, can I? Um, I don't know if you could hear that. It's now available because I now pay for it. So a great dive. I see what you did there, right? What is the other one? Nah, the first one. But yes, um, definitely. Um, lol. Next category we have plot. Plot is, was the pacing good? Were there any parts of the story where you thought things have dragged on and got a bit tedious? Was the overall plot satisfying? Were the reveals worth the journey? Was this plot in any way unique from the other books you read? Did it surprise you? Has it left you wanting to know more? Was it too complex, too bland, or just right? So to answer some of these questions, it did not have a plot. No, I feel like the plot dragged the bit. Like it was unclear what the plot was for a big chunk of the book for me anyway. But I feel like the reveal at the end, or like how it ended, was worth the journey. It kind of feels similar to the Finding the Mother Tree, where it felt like, why are we getting both points at the same time? Like it kind of made sense, but it did not connect until the end. And I felt like in the end it was star top, a great connection in the end. So that's how it felt here as well, a little bit. Like I did not really care, like I couldn't find a plot properly for a big part of the book, but I still yeah, felt like the ending was worth the entire journey. um I would read another one too, but not because of the writing style. I think for me it's the other way around. Atmosphere 7 and writing lower. Okay, totally fair. Maybe I just don't know what I'm rating. Maybe I'm just putting things flipped. I don't know. But yeah, but I'm sorry. Was there a plot? Nah, not so much. It was brilliant, Alex. No plot for you, no. First half, not so much. Second half, yes. And the first was necessary for the end. Yes, exactly. So it is a little tricky. It is a bit tricky. Did it leave me wanting more? No. I think it was great as it was. Um, yeah, plot. I would say 7, just because I loved the way it ended and how it all came together. Um, but otherwise there was no plot. Maybe 6 actually, because I think 7 is a little too high. Also, there was so much drama in the beginning. It was nice to see some of the characters get a nice conclusion, I guess, and the ones who died were ready, prepared for death. Kind of beautiful too. Yes, definitely. That is a good point. I would still read a sequel though. Um, yeah, I would read a sequel as well, but I don't feel like there needs to be more. It feels kind of like an open ending, maybe, but I felt like it worked. I think especially it worked so well, the ending, or why I feel like maybe I didn't need more, is because the way it ended felt very like it ended with the whale changing his song to lead people to lead the others to sanctuary rather than warning them. So I felt like that was really beautiful, and like it just wrapped up everything great, greatly, nicely. Um, so I don't know if the second book would maybe not ruin the ending of this one, but it could make it a little less impactful. Let's say, at least for me. For me, agree. It doesn't need one, no. But I would definitely read one if it had one. The end played with the reader's emotions, definitely. It did, but in a good way. In a good way. If it wasn't for the end, for the emotional end, it would definitely fall a bit flat. But because of the ending and how emotional it was and how much it mattered and how it all came together, I felt like it just lifted the book as a whole, at least for me. So, yep. Next category we have intrigue. Um, were you wishing you could be reading this book instead of doing whatever you were doing, or did it take some mental convincing to pick it back up? Were you intrigued to see where the story goes, what happens to the characters, how things will evolve? Yes. Well, first, no. Second, yes. So I did not feel like picking it up when I was not reading it, but I was very much interested or intrigued into or in how the characters would end up in the end, like how it would wrap up. I was basically interested in what the freaking story is. Will Aya get back to her pod? Because how it says here, I kind of understood it that she was bullied by her pod. And so she decided to leave and goes through some horrible things. But I didn't think she would, like, I didn't feel like that was the plot that she would come back or find a way back to the pod. But then the book felt a bit differently. So I don't know if I just misread the synopsis or if it was misleading. I don't know, because clearly that was not the case. Um, Maybe it's just nice to see some sea floofs have peace, even though humans are ruining the oceans. Same as before, only in the second half. Yes. Lots of convincing. Definitely one I kept reading because I know I stopped reading. I'd never go back. Yeah. I just wanted to see Aya meet up with that lovely whale. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The whale. It was so sweet. True, Jess, but also feel that's accurate, like animals would recover if people disappeared. Yes. Definitely. The first half was rough for me. Yeah, it was for me as well. The first half I did struggle with. Um, so intrigue is, yeah, as you said, Natalie, like the first half, no, second half, definitely higher. So intrigue, I would give 6 to be nice, I think. Um, I would give 6 because I did struggle with it, but that could be also because I read it all today and I was getting tired of reading. So maybe I would be more into it if I split it into more days, to be honest. So that's on me. So I'll leave it at 6. That's fine. Next category, second to last, is logic. Were the characters acting in accordance to their motives? Were they clear? Were you able to follow the rules of the world? Did you have to stop at any point because things did not make sense or you found plot holes? Was the world building sufficient, overwhelming, or clear? Uh, I mean, the world building, actually, I would put that into writing or atmosphere rather than here. Um, but yeah, logic. I didn't have a problem with it. I'm not gonna question animals' decisions, to put it simply. I feel like it showed beautifully how animals can adapt and find new ways. That was kind of the main moral of the story in my eyes. Yes, yes. I'll be honest, I also liked, even though, of course, changing oceans and the pollution of oceans is the main theme, or maybe it's not the main theme, but it was quite strong or important to the story. It didn't feel overwhelming to me. I liked how it was a little lighter. um yeah, I like that it wasn't too overwhelming and repeated too often. I like that it was more in the background, and the reader had to read in it into it themselves, or herself, whatever, himself. um So I like that there wasn't like overwhelming presence of pollution or of people ruining everything. Like it was the backstory all along, but it wasn't like right in your face, and I like that. It was more subtle. That's what I wanted to say. You had a whole day of dolphin grape. Oh no, yeah. I started book today at page 56. So I read, yeah, I was here today. So all of this I read today. But it was good. I liked how I liked it. I just wish I could split it in more days. I should have, but I was just too tired and busy. But yep. So I think logic. I don't have problem with the logic at all. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I don't have any major problem with it. Um, yes, I started at 46 this morning. Yep. I like their word. Was it home watchers or something? Someone? It was a lovely idea. Yeah, home watcher. Yeah, I think that was really nice. Home watchers. And I also liked how um I liked how the turquoise, is that what they were called? The turquoise dolphins were painted as this evil group of dolphins compared to Longi, but at the end they found a way to each other. I love that as well. That there was more to the story than meets the eye. Something, yes. Correcting your grammar. Um, Last category is enjoyment. Simply put, did you enjoy the book overall? And was your enjoyment consistent throughout? Uh, turquoise. Turquoise is that the turtles? I don't know. Tursiops. Yes. Sorry, I cannot remember that. But yes, the enjoyment definitely was not the same along the entire book, as I mentioned a million times before, and you guys as well. The first half was much slower, much less interesting than the second half, which is good. I prefer that over the other way around. I'll rather have first half a little harder to get through and then love the second half rather than love the first half and then hate the second half. Or not hate, but not have a good time. So, yeah, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it overall, and I would definitely read another one by the author. As a theologian, I felt quite a strong reference to the Bible with the pod hoping and searching for a better world in peace, and the way they're being called Exodus, a biblical word. Yeah, nice. I would not pick up on that. Like I definitely knew Exodus was a word from somewhere else, but I'm not into Bible, so I would not pick up on that at all. But yeah, that does sound interesting. So yeah, was it a good reference? Did you like it? Did it make the book stronger for you thanks to that reference, or how did you feel? How did you feel about it? Um, but yeah, for my enjoyment, I think I would give it 7.5. I think 8 feels a little too strong. 7 is not enough. So I think 7.5. 3.5 stars then. Sounds about right. Even though I do want to give it more. I want to give it 4. I want to give it 4. What can I pump? I can pump those numbers up. 8 is not enough. Can I pump those numbers up? Not that one. Not that one. This one I can pump up. There we go. 4 stars. Um, anyway. Maybe also the end worked for me because it was a bunch of people on the fringes outside coming together and welcoming others and coexisting in a way they weren't shown, but were able to create. Yes. So, in a way, it actually reminds me, now that you put it like this, it reminds me of the parable of the sower. Not in like any direct way, but the way you put it here immediately reminded me of parable of the sower, which again is biblical, as you, Natalie, said. Natalie, did you read Children on Time? Off Time? The second book has so many biblical references. Fascinating. Okay. I would not pick up on that. But yeah, maybe. Um, so yeah, I that's all the categories we've got for Copile. I don't know what's with this hair. It's having its own life. It's fine. Um, and I would give it 4 stars. I like 3.5 was my initial, but now talking about it and the ending especially, I feel like would pump it definitely half a star up. So for now, I feel like 4 stars, but maybe I'll sleep on it and decide tomorrow if I want to give it 4 stars or 3 stars because I feel 3 stars is a little low. I was thinking throughout the book, like early beginning of the second half, I was thinking like, yeah, I'm not gonna remember this book at all. Like it was fine, nothing wrong with it, but I'm not going to remember it. But the way it ended and how it all turned up in the end, at least right now, I feel like my heart is hurting and swelling at the same time. And I don't know, I just felt so much in the end. Or at least now, talking about it, thinking about it, I felt so much. So it feels a little unfair to give it 3 stars. But I think I'll sleep on it. Um, I like that it was transferred to animals and it takes up the overall longing of people for a better peaceful world with a lot of connection. I think that's what the Bible part is about too. Nice. So it worked well in my eyes. That's good. No, I haven't. You recommend? Maybe. I think 3 for me would have been higher if not for all the sex and great. Yes. 3 for me as well. Nice. Same. Yeah, I was also thinking about 3 stars. And for the most part, I was definitely like, this is a total 3-star book. But then the ending totally got me. 3.5 for me, but I haven't decided for Goodreads yet. Yes, exactly. I'm in general, yes. In general, yes, but maybe not you, Natalie. It's definitely hard sci-fi, which I don't know if that would be your jam. Yeah, that is up to you, Natalie. But yeah, I think that brings us to the end of the discussion of pod. I did enjoy the book overall. I was actually, I don't know if surprised, but like halfway through the book, I did not expect to end up enjoying it as much as I did at the end. And yeah, I think it was really good. So for me, this is a success for the book club. It felt 2 for me until everything came together toward the end. Yeah, fair. I think I'll go for 4 there. 3 is very average in my rating, and this felt more than that. Exactly, that's how I feel as well. Like it is in between 3 and 4, but it just doesn't fit with the other 3 stars. Like it is definitely closer to the 4 stars than the 3 stars. I'll look into it. Yes. I'm curious about the bees as well. Might pick it up in the future. Am I sensing another body read? Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by that one as well. But with that being said, we can wrap it up here. But we have next book for the month of September and October. So the live show will be probably end of October, beginning of November. We'll see when. Is The Uninhabitable Earth by David Wallace Wells. This is a nonfiction book. I have the Penguin edition. And yeah, I expect this. I mean, people say what? Dazzling, riveting, a sensation. If you read just one work of nonfiction this year, it should be this. This generation's silent spring, I don't know what it is. A must read. It's not only the grandkids and the kids, it's you. And it's not only those in other countries, it's you. So we'll see. I have a feeling that this might be a little bit of the spread, yeah, climate panic book. So prepare for that. It could be that kind of book, that everything is absolutely horrible and everything is going to crumble and nothing, like the world is going into misery, and it could be that kind of book. So prepare for that. That's what I'm expecting anyway. And but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because it does, like, people are talking very nicely about it, and lots of people love it. So I really really hope it's good. I have it on my TBR for this month, so we'll see if I get to it. But then I need to annotate the crap out of it. Wait, I did put some notes for pot in my. I did not annotate the book itself. That's the first time ever in a book club. Um, yeah, nothing that we haven't discussed. Maybe next year. Maybe. Definitely can't wait until last minute for this next one. Note to future jazz. Yes. Okay, prepare for climate panic. Exactly. But that's exactly what is great, because the book we have after this one is actually, I think, set in 3 different timelines, like the history of bees was that you and Natalie read. You and I, Natalie, read. Um, so it has 3 timelines, and I think like the future timeline is very hopeful. So maybe it will kind of like bring up, and that future is not all that horrible. At least that's the feeling I've got from these 2 books. So we'll see. Yes, just same. But most likely, I'm not gonna listen to myself. Yeah. I always plan to read the book well before, but it never happens. Might happen with this one. I might read this one this month. And I don't like to do it. I like to read the books closer. Maybe not as close as today, but closer to the book club. So I have everything fresh in mind. But maybe I can try to read it now if I get to it this month and see how much I remember in the book club. But I will, if I read it now, I'll definitely take notes and annotate and stuff. So we'll see. I can try how that would work. But this is our next book. Too far in advance and I'll forget. Yeah. That's how I feel as well. But I'm going to give it a shot, I think. So, with that, only 1 hour. We usually go for longer, but I'm not gonna complain. I've been online a long time today, so I think it is time to wrap it up here. What's the last one called? The Coral Bones. It's called. It is. Wait, let's see. The Coral Bones by E.J. Swift. I think it is difficult to get. So I'll have to order it at some point from somewhere, because when I wanted to order it last year, it was not available yet, and it was supposed to come up in February because they did some reprint. So I hope it'll be quite easy to get, but I'm afraid, yeah, we'll see. That it might be only available on Amazon, but we'll see. Nonfiction, I usually need to start earlier because I can't read much of it in one sitting. Yes, definitely. Me too. Me too. Coral Bones was my suggestion. I read another book by that author that was great. Yes, it was. I no, that was your suggestion. I remember that. That's also why it made it on the list. Because I think that one had like a same number of votes as some other book, but I picked this one. Thanks for the long day of sprints and the great chat. Thank you for joining. Same, Larissa, especially this type of nonfiction. Yeah, because it is actually like short. It is less than. Wait. All of this is like, yeah, notes and stuff, acknowledgments afterward. Okay, so the book ends here. So this all is not necessary. 238 pages, but the font is tiny. If we compare to Pod, I think the Pod is much larger. Wait, let me. Uh, if we compare the size of the text, yeah. Anyway, it's a big difference. Power. Oh yeah, I was sleeping, working when you kids were sprinting. Yes, we were sprinting all day long. It's time to now rest. We deserve it. We've done great today. Read the entire book pretty much, and chatted a lot. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today, whether in sprints or now in the chat. It was a great discussion once again. I think it was very interesting, and the little bits we found in there. I mean, it's always interesting to discuss books with you, but this one was very different, I feel like. And yeah, I'll talk to you probably not tomorrow. I was thinking like to keep myself productive, but maybe I just need a morning off. Maybe that's not going to be all that bad. I don't want to burn myself out. So I think I'm going to take it easy tomorrow. And then I'll see you on Tuesday. Does that mean the German one will have 500 pages again? Probably. Yes, I think so. So why not? Thanks so much for hosting everything today. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, everyone, for the chat. Glad I took a break. Me too. I'm very glad that you could be here, Jess. And hope your work goes fast and that you don't have to work all day today. So, thank you, guys. Hope you have a great rest of the day or have a good night. And I'll see you very soon.